What is going on, people? Today I'm going to go ahead and show you the highlights of the CaE KvK. Now, unfortunately, this KvK was a 1v1, which I still don't understand why IGG likes to do the 1v1s, because it's just less action, less troops being killed. It's just, I don't get it. You would figure that the four-way or even the three-way would make them more money in general, just because there's going to be more action, but it is what it is. Right now, I guess we're rotating, so the next one will probably be a three-way. But either way, I go ahead and pop my bunny pretty much right at the start here. And I'm going to go ahead and go infantry because there's less of a chance for people to be cav front. And if you go cav rally, then people do tend to sit in a range formation. So a lot of times I do prefer infantry if I'm going in blind. Unfortunately, I run into an infantry phalanx, which technically speaking might have actually been better, because if you actually take a look at his comp, it seems like he's super heavy T4 infantry, but he doesn't have any T2 infantry. So it makes me think that maybe he was trying to either he took a big hit before and hasn't rebuilt, or he tries to get T2 infantry reinforcements and tries to go that way. But I think maybe he took a hit and hasn't rebuilt. But here's the issue, though. I went ahead and popped my bunny, and I didn't get capped. So now I have to go ahead and just find some sort of target. Here's the good news, though. Since it is the beginning of KvK, there's going to be plenty of targets. Because like I tell people, look, if you're going to do KvK, make sure that you do it within the first hour or two, especially 1v1s, because they tend to die off really quickly. So we got this new target, Bill C. Bub 2001, and he gets burnt. I believe this was Tico's rally. Oh no, Omega. And we got 4.2. So that's a good one. And unfortunately for me, I did not have any more carpets. I used up all my carpets the day, like 2 days before this on our WoW. So I was carpetless, but I try to do my part in at least rallying and whatnot until I can get some more carpets later on. But KvK, especially if you're going after Fury targets, you need to have some carpets, or at least a couple of people that can do carpets, because if not, it just will not work very well. But again, I still have my bunny running. I'm gonna be rallying this Vol 4 IK guy, and we actually have 3 rallies going at the same time. I think actually we get 4 rallies at the same time, which we don't mind that. Now here's the next target, Kajuaho, whatever, I can't really say that name, and we get that burn and get him out of the forest, which actually cancels SQ1's rally. But there was really nothing else to hit anyway, so we pretty much cleaned them out. Willing to bet that 99,000 was just the siege that they had left. So it is what it is. So now I'm gonna go ahead and pivot, since they see me. They saw me go ahead and send an infantry rally. So I was gonna be like, okay, I don't want to send the same thing twice, because maybe they're gonna catch into this. So I decided to go ahead and swap it for cavalry. And then from there, kind of hope for the best. So right now we have Omega, myself, and Grotesco rallying all at the same time. They're all full, and they're all filling with 100Ks. This is what happens when you get like a good KvK time. I think it was like at 1 p.m. Eastern time for US. That means that it's still fairly early in the UK and most places. It's just very bad time for like Chinese, for instance. So not the greatest for that, but for us, it was great, because we were able to get 3, even 4 rallies up at the same time and all going. So you see Bruce starts up our 4th rally. So yeah, it was just madness. So it was fun to go ahead and get all of these rallies up at the same time, because they basically finished a bunch of everybody's solos. So that was really good. And we also had really good targets, so you know, can't really complain too much about that. But we got this Vol, I don't even know how to say it, Volforic, I don't know, whatever it is. Now here's the thing, Omega and my rallies were about to launch around the same time, but unfortunately I did not know that somebody did not speed in their troops. So I was like, how come I'm not walking yet? I did not have a timer or anything. So okay, so Omega goes ahead and launches his rally. So I'm thinking, well, what's going on with mine? Okay, so I'm like, okay, I already showed my cav gear. because I thought I was gonna walk on time. So I tried to switch it to range to kind of like bamboozle them, and then swap it back to cav. But I think the person that didn't walk or didn't get there in time definitely messed me up, because I showed my cav gear way too early, and I did not really do that much damage. I only did 4.4, which technically it's not necessarily a counter, or maybe it is, and it's just their stats are just that much lower, so they will take more damage. But that's what happens. If you're ever joining a rally, make sure that you speed up to the timer at the very least, because if the rally's ready to launch and you're keeping it from launching, you can cost your guild. So just keep that in mind. Now on this one right here, did you see his gear? Did you see his gear? I don't know how people are almost a billion might and still rocking that gear. It's incredible to me how that can even be a thing. But it is what it is, because like even if you stumble across for like a couple of months, you'll probably be able to get better gear than that. It was just insane. But yeah, it gets to the point where we can just go ahead and start soloing them, so you can tell that their core might is at least decent. So I don't know what people are thinking when they're using this type of gear, because even some of the gear at blue would be better. It's insane. But yeah, we'll go ahead and continue to go after this Volforic guy. That's what I'm just gonna call him, Volforic. He is sporting that range gear, but looks like Tico took him for a ride. Now, remember I sent Cav, and they might have actually countered me with their range. And if you take a look here, you see that his range is actually pretty much gone. So yeah. We sent infantry, and for some reason, he countered with his infantry phalanx instead of cavalry, which made no sense. Now, by the time I had told Tico that it was actually better to go cav instead of inf, the rally was like 2 minutes from launching, so we didn't want him to reset the fury and leave and whatnot, so I just sent it. But my goodness, if an infantry rally coming at you, and you basically have inf cav in your castle, why would you take it infantry phalanx? That didn't make any sense to me. That might have actually kept them from burning that time too, but who's to know anymore, right? Who's to know? Now, we started going into bigger targets because we were just running out of targets, especially since we were doing solo rallies. You know, your targets kind of get limited, especially in Fury, because 1.5, 1.6 billion, etc. Especially if you got to start carpeting, they can counter you, and you basically do next to nothing. Not really the greatest. So this is where I started to kind of wind down, but we did find this last one here for the last like hour or so. Octagon, I don't know why the N is spaced out, but we get a really nice hit from Ray here, and yeah, that was really nice. But I'd never see him change gear or anything like that, and you can't really tell me that that was their gear, because I refuse to believe it. I'm just gonna go with they forgot to swap, because there's just no way. Now our other target was this one, Mugzauji, and WDG hits them right before us, which we were like, okay, even better. And they actually do a crap load of damage, 8.6. Yikes. And that was an infantry rally, so they were definitely range front. And I take a look, and we're like, oh, we're infantry too. I don't know, this is going to be the same thing where we should have gone cav, but instead we went infantry, so I don't know how this is going to work. We were kind of like, I wonder if it's going to go well. But take a look at this. Look what ends up happening. Burn! And look at this walk back. Just one little march back. Now that's funny. Oh man. Now in this case, I would still have my rally up, and there was this guy that we had targeted before, but the Octagon guy. The problem is that their Fury was about to be up. Like I'm telling you, their Fury was probably like a minute away from being done, and we were about a minute away. So I was like, this is going to have to be carpeted like mad, because we're almost out of time. And as soon as we go ahead and walk, I swap over to my calf gear, and the carpet start going crazy, and then he shields just in time, like literal seconds. I was so mad. But you know, it's just KvK. That's what it is now. It's a bunch of trying to get people in Fury, and sometimes you might get like a solo target like this one, Black Hard. I don't really know why a person of his might is out here getting into Fury, because this is what's gonna happen. Like, yeah, that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna get a gangbang. I mean, it's not great. Like, we're bullies, but it is KvK. Everything's fair. Tiles, 50 millimite, etc. So it is what it is. But yeah, appreciate you guys for coming through. And until later, bye.